Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I did a video a while back talking about how Superman had renounced the phrase truth, justice, and the American way before. He had talked about walking away from America. This was right before the New 52, and it made national news. Fox, I think at the time, covered it like Superman is no longer an American. And then the New 52 came out and they kind of erased all of that, and then they kind of restored the truth, justice, and the American way for a while through Rebirth, and then recently it's what, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. I think that's what it is. Although as fast and as strong as Superman is, it feels like he's kind of being lazy if he's putting things off to tomorrow. It should be truth, justice, and a better today. Like you can fly around the earth and spend time backward according to the movie, and according to Omniverse rules, everything is canon now. So you did that at one point. So saying truth, justice, and a better tomorrow is kind of like saying truth, justice, and I'll get around to it eventually. I don't know. Seems like a lazy Superman. But regardless, I'm going to tell you my view just on Superman. As somebody who's read thousands, it has to be thousands of Superman comics, who likes a character, who likes the universe, who cares about this stuff. And I think hopefully nobody would doubt that. There's always people who are new to the channel who's like, this Perch has never read a comic in his life. I'm like, I mean, you can say lots of things about me, but my record is solid in this regard. So my view is simply this. And this is going to be one of those annoying, I'm sure, fence-sitting views that everybody loves. But I like the phrase truth, justice, and the American way. I like it because it's a classic, and I also like it because it's not saying exactly what people think it's saying. It's saying the American way here is democracy. It's kind of a shining beacon to the world. When Superman was created, that was the idea. We didn't have all this, capitalism equals bad and all this other nonsense. The idea was truth, justice, and here's a shining light of democracy and hope. And also, it's American-made character, so of course it's going to say American way. I mean, it's not like they're going to say truth, justice, and the Taiwan way, right, China? Right? Anyway, so it's truth, justice, and American way. But it also didn't mean that Superman was going to become a simp for the American government. It didn't mean that and there weren't comics like this. Well, I mean, the closest you get is Dark Knight Returns, where Superman is kind of trailing around a aging, kind of decrepit Ronald Reagan. But generally, in the 99.9% of other appearances of Superman, he's flying around, he's doing his thing. We don't see Superman like going on missions for Richard Nixon or destroying tapes or, hiding cigars for Bill Clinton or whatever he happens to be doing. See, I got both parties there. See, both parties. See how we're fair? Okay. But I think that when they say, I've seen people attack that as an old-fashioned statement, and it kind of is, but that's also kind of the point. It's good for it to be an old-fashioned statement. It's good for there to be some legacy that Superman can hang his hat on. I think that's strength to the character, not a weakness. The fact that the character's been around for decades and has this lore to him is a benefit. It's what's made the character globally recognized around the world, like Batman, Spider-Man, and others. So the idea of this slogan is old-fashioned. It's like, I mean, okay, but so is money, so is Disney World, so is, going to the bathroom in a toilet. I mean, there's lots of things that we've been doing for a while. That doesn't mean you throw them all out. I think that truth, justice, American way fits Superman, and it's fine. At the same time, this is the fence-sitting side of it, I always took Superman to be a global icon. He fought for Earth. He, it's not like Superman said, truth, justice, the American way, and I'm going to go kick the crap out of those Vietnamese because they're pissing me off. They're pissing my country off. You didn't see that. When Superman would go to war with other nations, he wasn't going to war because he was, a proud American soldier. He was going to war because they were evil. They were trying to destroy the world. Superman going up against the Axis way back in the day, it wasn't like he was doing that for America. He was doing that for the world. He was doing that because these armies were evil and murderous and trying to take over and install tyranny. That was the point of Superman. Superman is fighting for goodness for the world. You think about some of the conflicts that America got involved in, like Vietnam, or maybe you didn't see Superman hanging out in the Iraq War trying to take down the Iraqis. Now maybe they should have shown him going and throwing Saddam into the sun or something, but generally speaking, Superman has always stayed out of those political fights. So it's kind of the whole point of Superman. Superman is a champion of Earth. He'd say truth, justice, and the American way, but it didn't mean truth, justice, and I'm going to shove the American way down your throat. Superman, with all of his powers, could have flown down to, he could have flown over to North Korea and said, hey, this is against our interests. He could have flown over to Russia, and it's probably not the best example during this particular time period, but Superman wasn't flying to other nations, flying to Saudi Arabia and saying, I claim this oil for America, and just drilling in and I don't know what spinning his body around, picking up oil, freezing it with his breath, and carrying it across the ocean to whatever. Superman was not deployed for America's interests. He fought for the planet. He fought for goodness. That was kind of the point of the character. And I think everybody who's read Superman for any length of time or watched the Christopher Reeves movies knows this. Superman was, put it this way. If Superman was an American puppet, if you take that as people who have complained about the American way, who say it's old-fashioned, and they say, well, Superman shouldn't be America's puppet, he never has been. Superman did not conduct missions for Bill Clinton or George Bush or Obama or Trump or Biden. And the people who are saying it's heresy to, suddenly change the slogan. Again, I think Better Tomorrow is just weak and weird, based on the character itself. I think that's odd. But if Superman was to come out and say, I protect the globe first, that's my mandate. I protect Earth. I'm a champion of Earth. Because I remember when Superman did say that recently in a couple issues, I think they were the ones that Scott Snyder did for Justice League. They said, Superman, champion of Earth. And some people got all pissed off about it. Like, no, he fights for America. No, he does not. He fights for Earth. He always has. That has been his mission. That has been what he does. So I think you can have both. I think you should leave the slogan alone, because what's wrong with it? It ties into the history, and it's fine. And I think only a real person who's stuck up and hung up on the words is going to go, well, he can't say that because he's also going to defend Brazil from fires, or if Haiti has an earthquake, then Superman should fly down there. And if he says truth, justice, and the American way, he won't do that. It's like, no, we actually have decades of comics proving that he would protect anyone, including America's enemies, because that's the right thing to do. Anyway, that's where I think this whole argument gets somewhat disingenuous. The people who are fighting for those words to be erased are portraying a Superman that does not exist. It's not like during the Trump administration, there are always comics where Superman's down there building a border wall, or then Biden comes in and Superman's taking down the border wall, maybe flying Kamala Harris down there. I don't know. That's never been how Superman has been portrayed. So this entire argument feels goofy to me. It feels like people are taking kind of their own kind of axe to grind in this case, and ignoring the decades and decades of history of the character, which tells us exactly what he's all about. I think if Superman says, I'm here to protect the globe, that is not a sign that he's going, to PC or whatever it happens to be. It's what he has always done. That's the character. So anyway, I think that anyone with kind of two brain cells thinks about this for a minute, and it all makes sense. And yet, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, it doesn't roll off the tongue. And again, you could fly around the earth, Superman. You could solve it today. Stop being lazy here. Anyway, I like so many of these things, it feels like people want to argue about it, but why? And in this case, how dumb can you get? The comics tell us what Superman is from a global perspective, from a protector of the earth perspective, and from an American perspective. He was his surrogate family was American. He was raised on American values. That is a fact. That is his history. He was raised on American values. Now you can argue that those values are old-fashioned, out of date, they don't really apply. You can do whatever you want, but that is literally his origin, is he was raised by Americans. And so him saying that simply means I'm going to live by these values I was raised by. It doesn't mean anything more than that. It doesn't have to mean anything more than that. So I think it's just a way for people to bitch, to be honest. But anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if this really bothers you. And, and just much ado about nothing. Thanks for listening.